Hey, what's up good people? Welcome to another episode of Pwned, and this video is all about my FDL-3. After getting this guy, I dare say that this is the one flywheel blaster that rules all other flywheel blasters. Like, honestly speaking, this is everything that I've wanted in a single blaster. Don't get me wrong, I still love my Tavors, I still love my Argus Modworks, Swordfish Leviathan, I still love my Strife mods, but this thing alone has basically decommissioned every single other flywheel blaster that I've owned. And it's just amazing. I mean, you guys are already familiar with the FDL platform and you've seen a lot of videos about the FDL3s. So I just wanted to make this video and let you guys know that yeah, I do own an FDL3. Now, if you are wondering, my blaster initially looked like this. And then you're probably thinking, wait, in the thumbnail for this video, the blaster looks a little bit different as compared to what it is right now. And that's because I actually got two shells. So I've got one full FDL3 that I purchased from the Project FDL web store, and then I got a second set of shell, and this is the second set. So I fell in love with this smoke grey or like dark clear grey filament, and I was like, wait, maybe I could just kind of purchase the shell and then make the swap on my own. And then doing that whole swap is another reason why I love the blaster even more. So why do I say that this could be the be-all end-all of flywheel blasters in my opinion? Well, this is a super robust system. It's got everything you need that could be controlled all here on board this system on the blaster itself. I don't really want to go into full details about it, but just to kind of give you like an idea of what you can do with this, you could basically change the speed of the flywheels. So that would mean that you could control the FPS. You could also change the ROF, and you could also have select fire. So like you could have a single shot, you could have burst fire of 2 or 3 shots, or maybe even 4. You could just have full auto all the way. It's just, this is everything. And on top of that, you could even change the spin up and spin down time. Basically what that means is how much time the flywheels take to spin up and how much time the flywheels take to power down. So the best way to kind of illustrate what I'm trying to say is to give you guys a quick demonstration.
Love that sound.
And yeah, you got 3 buttons here that are completely programmable, that you could totally set a different setting for each and every single button here and then save it. And the first button here I've kept for my single shot, and I've assigned my second button to be my burst fire mode, and I'm actually firing 2 darts, not 3. And then the third button is the full auto. So I'm setting it on a full auto now, and you guys, maybe you can hear the way it fires. So that's the current setting now, but I can change the flywheel speed. So I'm gonna just slow it down, and here we go. So you could hear the ROF, and I'm gonna change the ROF now, and you could do it all on board, which is really crazy. So make the ROF even slower, but you can make it really fast. Don't know if anyone will ever use that speed, but yeah, you could basically do that. And if you don't like it, just reset it to what you saved it as. Now, I'm gonna give you guys an example of a really slow spin down time versus a really quick spin down time, which you can kind of liken to as the motor braking system. So here we go, we got spin down time, and this is what it is if you have the slowest spin down time. So just listen to how the flywheels power down. So that's when you have the longest spin down time, and when you have the fastest spin down time, it's gonna be like this. How cool is that? Now, there are other settings in here that are really mind-blowing. That includes the minimum speed and the maximum speed. So the minimum speed setting basically controls what the RPM of the flywheel motor should be at least before it starts firing. There's so many things that you could tweak with this system, and I love it. So really shout out to FDL. And I gotta say that when I was purchasing this, really, the customer service, top notch. The people at Project FDL really spent a lot of time just answering my questions, speaking to me, asking me about my preferences, making sure that everything that I wanted was perfect in exactly the way I wanted it, even down to having my own logo here. And all of that is just crazy. And there's so many options in terms of like filament colors, whether if you're going for a full auto or semi-auto system, you could have it for Talon or Katana mags, you could have it for a full-size mag. I really think that the options to customize this is completely endless. So I'm gonna give you guys a quick firing demonstration before we get into the second part, but it's more interesting because, you know, like I said, I'm sure you guys already are very familiar with the FDL as a blaster. But I did pose Project FDL some questions, and I have the answers, so I thought I would just give you guys a little bit more about them as a group and the kind of things that they have in store in future for all of us. So really quickly, I just want to have this 12 dart mag, and I'm going to be firing this off full auto, and I've got an LED panel here that will help to illuminate the darts as they are leaving the barrel. So let me just get that set up correctly. So once again, I'm going to set it to my full auto mode because I was tinkering with it just now to show you guys the spin down speed, but here we go. Empty. No jams whatsoever. Next, I'm going to demonstrate to you guys the kind of settings that I went for my single shot and burst fire mode. So for my single shot mode, I chose to have the flywheels powering up and spinning for a little bit of time before actually launching the dart. And that's because I wanted the best performance for each dart, like I wanted the full velocity possible. So you just have to pull the trigger once, you can even tap it once, and then it will just fire the dart. Look, it'll do everything for you. See that? It'll power up for a little bit, fire out the dart, and then it will power down immediately just with a single tap. How cool is that? Even if you hold it, it's only going to fire one dart. There is also a, I forgot what it's called exactly, but there's kind of like a double tap or a quick tap system, kind of like that. See that? How the second dart was able to be launched out really quickly, like a double tap, if you may, you know? Like that. So it's really quite an intricate system. I really love it. Now for my burst shot, what I chose was just like that. Let the flywheels power up, but not as long as a single shot, and then push out two darts and then immediately powering down, versus the full auto where, sorry, I cleared the mag, but yeah, you guys saw absolutely no jams. So that's the kind of, wait, this light's really bright. Let me just turn this light off now. So that's the kind of fine controls that you can get just by tinkering around with your FDL-3. And what's more is that the LED is right here. So anytime you're firing your blaster, you could simply look down and it will even tell you what's the voltage left on your battery. Speaking of battery, it's really simple to take out your battery. All you gotta do is just remove two thumb screws, one on each side of the blaster, right here. And then this just pops off like that, and your battery is sitting in there. So you could easily install or remove your battery with no problem. And then when you're done, you just grab this half and then just put it on. Now, if you accidentally have it the wrong way around, that's completely fine because it works too. So this thing is like kind of dual-sided. So sometimes, right, in mid-game, you're changing on the fly, you don't have to worry about the orientation. Anyway, works fine. It's just that for cosmetics, there is a little angle here on the back of the rail. You know, having this is really well thought out and really well done in my opinion. So another kudos to Project FDL. Now, if you guys are wondering about swapping out the shell and whether or not it took a long time, whether it was difficult, I gotta say that it was not difficult at all. I was really surprised at how easy it was to completely change the shell without even much trouble. The website is full of instruction manuals and it's really well done instruction manuals. You won't go wrong. Plus, if you buy their kit, you could see everything is done up really nicely. There are no hard soldered parts. You could just remove and unplug everything, then plug it all back in. There are slots for all the wires and everything to run in, so it's all really nicely truncated. Everything is very nicely organized and it's super neat. Now, before I forget, there are two ways to remove your mag. So here, of course, is the main mag lever. Just push forward, take a mag out. If not, then you could also use this pedal here. Just push forward with your middle finger, and that does the trick as well. It's a really simple application and it's done so well, just makes full sense. And you guys are probably thinking, wow, Psych, how much did you spend on this baby here? I'm gonna say, yeah, I spent quite a lot. I think this was like, what, 400 US dollars? Thereabouts, because of the customizing and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's about 400 US. That's the price of roughly 2 fully souped up Strife mods, right? With body kits and everything. I own 2 Tavor Strifes. That alone, with all the mods, the body kits, the internals, the time taken to do all that mods just to make it full auto without a select fire system, that alone already is more than 400 US dollars. Now, another example to use would be one of my favorite blasters in my arsenal, and that is the Argus Modworks Swordfish with the Leviathan add-on. That was also quite costly, right? That thing cost me almost 300 US dollars. Including shipping, you know, and then of course having to upgrade my Strife. It's got afterburners and everything. So yeah, that in terms of mod parts itself is already going to cost you quite a bit. So that is one of my favorites. It's a full auto system, but it doesn't have select fire. So that's what I mean, guys. Like, this one blaster puts all of that out of commission. This is really, I have nothing but praise to sing about the FDL-3. This form factor itself looks so cool, and the customization options in it, and the control that you have, and the fact that it uses just standard lipos. Even on their website, they even recommend the kind of best lipos that you should get. I mean, everything's just there. But this thing came with a few goodies, right? So I've got a mag display stand So you could basically put it on a table like that. I know you guys can't see it because of the angle, but it's a mag display stand. And with the blaster came a set of safety goggles. How cool is that to add a set of safety goggles in there? That's awesome, right? But that's not all, guys. It came in this drawstring bag. Look, FDL branded. It's got the whole exploded view of the blaster. And yeah, there's more, guys, there's more. So there is a thank you card in there and it says thank you so much for your support, yada yada. I'm not going to read it out, but it came with that card. And it comes with a whole bunch of goodies. Like really, like, look, I've got some of these Neutron Dart League stickers. I've got this FDL sticker here. I've got another FDL Spaceman Triangle sticker. But Project FDL actually snuck in a few extra stickers, and these are the upcoming ones. I think they're actually being released now. These are the holographic ones. How cool is that? It's the Neutron Dart League, the Spaceman one. And this one, I don't know what this number 2 is. I've even got the Project FDL logo in this holographic style. Then you've got some patches. Yeah, guys, Velcro patches. Got a Project FDL Velcro patch. I've got this one. I don't know what is this. ADL. Have you guys seen this before? ADL? I've got a 1 and 2. And it's all Velcro patches. Now they have also included keychains. 3D printed keychains. How cool is that? Those are some crazy goodies. The guys at Project FDL are just so awesome. I mean, what can I say? Just these goodies alone, you know? So it's a lot of things that you get in that package that really makes you feel like, wow, this is a full package. Like, it's a really cool product to actually purchase. In the earlier part of the video, I told you guys that I actually reached out and threw some questions over to Project FDL. This is what's gonna make my video different from other FDL3 review videos, right? I mean, I could just talk about this thing for days because I really love it, and now I kind of swear by it as a blaster. But here's some questions that I threw and their answers. So let's just go through them. Number 1, I said, I touched the flywheels when I was swapping out the cowl pieces and they seem to have a rubbery texture. Is that an extra coating that you guys applied to increase the grip on the flywheels? And the answer was that the flywheels were printed in ABS, so they may have a different texture than the rest of the blaster, which is printed in PLA, just so you guys know. They also said that they do run a few mags through it before shipping if you are actually purchasing a blaster from them, because they got to test it out and make sure that it works. So that could be dart goo. And that, in my opinion, is really good that they are transparent with you. I'm glad that they actually take the time to QC their blasters before shipping it out. That's really a plus point to good service. Next, I mentioned that I noticed that my FDL firmware is 1.4. And I said that I'm sorry if I didn't read or research properly, but what's the difference between 1.2 and 1.4? And the reason why I quote version 1.2 is because that's a version that they showcase in their videos thus far, or at least till today. And I also asked, for firmware updates, are they released according to a schedule? For example, can a layman like me update the firmware if a new firmware is being released? And so the response is, the jump from V1.2 to 1.3 happened when we switched motors and ESCs back in Jan of last year. It introduced an adjustable spin down time that I kind of showed you guys in the earlier part of the video, which might not have been mentioned in the video. In 1.4, I made some tweaks to how the pusher cycles to ensure it returns all the way home after each shot. I usually only make firmware changes when they are necessary, so there's not a consistent schedule or anything. You would need a programmer dongle and PC to update it. It's not particularly hard, but not super simple either. I wouldn't spend too much time on firmware. V1.4 has been in place for 6 months or so and is a minor change from 1.3. So at the point of recording this video, it's fair to say that V1.4 has been running for almost a year now. And the next question, question 3, is, I find it super cool that there are so many customization options for the FDL, like semi-auto, full auto, type of ammo, etc. But any plans for an FDL 4? Or will this be it? And are you guys working on other projects? And their response is, I have a few things I'm working on for funsies. Early progress on that kind of stuff is only visible to our Patreon folks. By the way, I'm a patron of theirs, just saying. I'm enjoying making fun and silly stuff without a ton of pressure to sell it. I have some ideas for an FDL4, but nothing really in the works. I'm feeling out how things go getting parts manufactured. An FDL4 would make use of that, so we're taking baby steps towards it. I wonder what the FDL4 is going to look like. I bet it's going to look really sleek. I mean, from the FDL2 to the FDL3, it's just way sleeker, right? And the next question is, on the topic of ammo types, are there plans for an FDL that can handle both full-length and half-length darts? Like maybe incorporate a pusher that's like Devil's dual pusher? Because right now, you have to get different front noses. And so the answer is, I took a stab at an adapter of sorts, and I was working on the short dart nose, but the geometry is hard to deal with. I bailed on it in favor of people committing to one or the other. That may be possible in future blasters. Now I cannot wait for the FDL4 now, damn it. And the next question is actually a shout out also to Radio Silence 187 because I love his bullpup FDL. So I asked, Have you seen Radio Silence 187's Bullpup FDL? What do you think of it? As a fan of bullpups myself, will you guys ever consider making a bullpup FDL of your own? And so their answer is, I'm honestly not a huge fan of bullpups, but I like his work a lot. He supported us since early on and it's awesome about attributing my designs in his remixes. That's always good, guys. Always give credit where credit is due. It might happen, it might not. We get a lot of requests for it, but the 1990s punk in me almost shies away from the things the masses ask for, LOL. So yeah, just always going against the grain, specifically not doing things that people want. I guess that's kind of cool in its own way, right? And the next and final question that I asked is, this might be a silly question, but for some reason my brain keeps telling me that there was some way to control the parameters of the FDL from your mobile phone, or is it just me? And their response is, the FDL 2 and 2 Plus had Wi-Fi in them and a web app you could use from a phone, and that's what the Make Test Battle guys had back in the day. Shoutouts to MTB for that, especially Adrian. Now Adrian was the guy that actually told me about the FDL system, and I was always so jelly because he actually owned an FDL2 and I was like, dude, that looks super sick. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest, it was because of people like Jangular and Out of Darts that sold me on the FDL3. I saw it and I was like, I really need one now, and I don't regret it. I really don't. Back to the response. I did away with that in the FDL2X and FDL3, where all those settings can be adjusted straight from the screen. So that's the reason why. Okay, cool. And I really want to give Jesse a shout out because Jesse really spent a lot of time talking to me. I really appreciate all the love and support and the kindness and the great level of service that the FDL team has shown me so far. And looking at the feedback and the community that they've built, I know that they extend the same kind of service to everyone, not just me. And I'm saying that because I don't want people to be thinking,
well, you are psych. Everyone's gonna treat you generally nicer.
Because to be upfront with you guys, they didn't know it was me. I just asked if I could purchase one and I just happened to get a spot just before they shut down for a while. I waited for quite a few months before this thing was built. I'm gonna say that now that I have this in my hands, every moment of waiting is worth every single dollar, and it was worth the time waiting. And since I'm on that topic, I want to say, guys, if you want to purchase a full FDL3, and I mean like the full blaster, make sure that you purchase it directly from Project FDL. Now, I'm discouraging you from going out to purchase FDL3s from other people who are not licensed to sell FDL3s, and the reason why is because, number one, the print quality on this is really outstanding. I've got friends that have actually seen this and they own 3D printers. I don't own a 3D printer, so I'm not an expert in that field, but they have all said that the print quality on this is astonishing, and there's no guarantee to get the same kind of print quality if you purchase it from another source outside of Project FDL. The next thing is that you will not be liable for any kind of follow-up service, any kind of aftercare services if something goes wrong with your FDL3 blaster that you did not purchase from Project FDL. And that's also a really important thing because these things, right? These things, they're not cheap. You don't want to be caught in a situation where you purchase something for a few $100s and presumably pay less than what you would pay if you buy directly from Project FDL, only to get a product that doesn't perform on par as a standard FDL3, or maybe even a product that would end up being either defective or would simply just fail on you, right? And then you would have no one else to turn to. So just don't get caught in that situation. If you're looking to purchase a full FDL3, hit Project FDL up directly. I'll put links in the description box down below, Facebook links and links to the web store and everything. Just, you know, something for you to really consider and think about. And that is it, everyone. Thank you so much for sticking all the way throughout. I really hope that you found this interesting because I am really happy with this purchase. Like I said again, I could talk about this for days and I won't bore you guys anymore. I think I've spoken enough. You saw the performance on this thing. You guys already know my opinion. This is the be-all, end-all Flywheel blaster. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. Thanks again, everyone, for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Remember, drills pay the bills and teamwork makes the dream work. Peace.